Hi, my name is Johnny Muller, and here's my chemistry concept map. So, of course, we start here at chemistry. We stretch on up to the atom, which is the thing chemists and chemistry students are the most concerned about, because we study the atom and how they interact with other atoms. And so from there, we stretch on into the parts of the atom, being the nucleus, and the parts of the nucleus being the protons and the neutron. From the atom, we go to the next part, the electrons. And, forgot this over here. From the atom, we also stretch into characteristics of the atom, being electronegativity, atomic weight, and atomic number. Okay, now back down to electrons. These are mostly responsible for bonding. And so from here, we're going on into the characteristics, some of the characteristics of electrons, being the electron shell, electron donor, and electron acceptor. And from here, we stretch on down to valence electrons, which are the type of electrons that are responsible for molecular bonds. And then from there, we stretch on to the double bond and the triple bond, and polar covalent bond and the non-polar covalent bond. And because these are all responsible for the molecule, we stretch on down to the molecule, makes a full round. Stretch on down to the molecule, and then of course we have hydrogen bonding over there. And then, because these are characteristics of the molecule, we have cohesion, which is the ability for molecules stick to molecules of the same type, and then adhesion, which is the ability of molecules stick to molecules of a different type. And then from molecules, stretched on down to hydrophobic interactions. Forgot this up here. From the molecule, we have another route that leads to molecular weight and the ionic bond. Now we go back to chemistry, and we follow another route. We get to the element, and then we go down a little further, and then we have the elements that are critical for life, being calcium, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, water, of course, phosphorus, did I say chloride? Potassium, sodium, hydrogen, and of course, since we're already over here by hydrogen, we have the hydronium ion, H3O+, and then the hydrogen ion. Now back over here to water. We follow a little route down from water, and then we have the hydrogen bond network of water, and the water isotope. And this hydrogen bond network is the reason why water has the peculiar phenomenon of autoionization. And then we go back up to chemistry. Now we're going to deal with measurements that are, I forgot that up there. From the atom, we also have anion and cation. Okay, now back down to measurements. We have the gram, molarity, liter, millimeter, meter, Dalton, the mole, and then the little subunit of the mole, Avogadro's number, which tells us how many atoms are in a mole. If we go on back up to chemistry, and then we follow it down, we have two pathways here, inorganic and organic. Right now we're going to take organic. And so organic chemistry is the study of molecules that are mostly responsible for life. And then a big part of organic chemistry is our functional groups. So right now we're going to look at the functional groups. We have the hydroxyl group, OH, carbonyl group, C double bond O, oxygen. And then we have the carboxyl group, C double bond oxygen with a bond to hydroxide. And then over here we have the ketone, which is a carbon atom bonded to two alkyl groups, and then a double bond to oxygen. Then we have aldehyde, which is C alkyl group, a bond to hydrogen, and double bond to oxygen. And then we have the alcohol, and that's just an alkyl group to a hydroxyl group. We have the methyl group, which is a carbon atom with 3 hydrogen atoms. Then we have the amine group, which is an N and an N that is bonded to 2 hydrogens and 1 alkyl group, or it can be as many as 3 alkyl groups, but there always has to be 1 alkyl group for it to be an amine. Let's see. carboxylic acid. That's there's the formula right there, not the structure. Sulfhydryl, that's a hydrogen to a sulfur atom. And then we have a phosphate, which is a phosphorus atom with bonds to 4 oxygen atoms, and one of them being a double bond to oxygen. And then we have the amino, which is N with 2 H's. And then from this all leads down to important polymers and their isomers. And because these are all really important parts of the bigger molecules that we have here. And then we have the protein, amino acids. And here's a nice little example of an amino acid, it's phenylalanine. Little random fact, when this is flipped over, this is actually a synthetic chemical that is used to sweeten our drinks, as far as I know. I may be mistaken. And then if we follow this path a little further, we get to nucleotides, which are the building blocks of DNA and RNA, and then nucleic acids, which are technically what DNA and RNA are. We follow the path a little higher, and then we get the fatty acid and cholesterol, saturated fats, unsaturated fats, phospholipids, lipids, carbohydrates. Oh, and from the lipids we travel off a little bit into the glycolipids and the glycoproteins. And then we have carbohydrates, polysaccharides, monosaccharides, and sugars. And I made a mistake there. This should cut off right there. This should not reconnect. Okay, let's follow the next path. And then back to chemistry. And then this time we take inorganic chemistry, the inorganic route. And then let's see. And then so from here, we stretch on into acid and base. And because these are classified under inorganic chemistry, because that's most strong acids and bases are not organic molecules. Organic molecules tend to be weak in acidity and basicity. And so at least weaker than the inorganic acids and bases. And then right here we have the salt, and that's classified under acid and base because it's generally a byproduct of an acid-base reaction. And then from here we have the redox reactions, oxidation, reduction. Oxidation is the addition. No, oxidation is the process of taking an electron from an atom. And the reduction is the process of giving an electron to an atom. And from inorganic, we go up here to radioactive isotope, the scary stuff. And then we have half-life up here. And the half-life is basically the time it takes for a radioactive substance to decrease by half through radioactive decay. And I believe that's about it. I'll just give you a quick little overview now in case we missed anything. All right, that's about it. Thank you.